Hello, this is John Paval with Access Arts Live. I'm here to give you a heads up on what we think are the top live stream picks for this weekend. And you're listening to the tune right there, Pictures at an Exhibition by Mussorgsky, which will be the music of one of the live streams this weekend, but perhaps not in the format that you'd be expecting. So let's get with it and let me take you through 5 or 6 of what we think would be the top live streams you wouldn't want to miss. Now, you may disagree, and we will continue to put out our daily live stream listing of everything that's going on this weekend on Saturday and on Sunday, so you can make your own informed picks. And before I go any further, how do I proceed? Before I go any further, let me remind you, if you're watching this on Facebook, please like the video. If you're watching this on any of our other platforms, please don't just like the video, like us. Subscribe to and or follow Access Arts Live on X, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Threads, or LinkedIn. And we will continue to bring you every week up to 1,000 live streams per year. So now let's get to what we have to offer you this weekend. There's a lovely contemporary piece by a 99-year-old composer. There's flamenco from Madrid. Well, where else? There's an Elgar oratorio from Köln, Germany, which is a little more unusual. There's a wild contemporary performance coming from Chicago. There's Mussorgsky, which you just heard, coming from Paris, and Wagner, where else? In Vienna, from the Vienna State Opera House. Wow. But the one I want to tell you about most of all is probably the most brief of all of the works this weekend. I just found it so charming. I can't wait to hear it myself. I can't wait for you to hear it live if you don't know it already. Friday, May 23rd, Daniel Harding conducts his last concert as the chief of the Stockholm Radio Symphony with works by Mendelssohn, Mahler, and this lovely piece by 99-year-old composer Betsy Jolas called Ces belles années, Those Wonderful Years. Wow. There's a photo. The photo to me is so revealing. On the left, you have Daniel Harding, who is in the fullness, in the middle of his career, full of life and strength and energy. And on the right, you have Betsy Jolas there, being presented to the audience by Simon Rattle. On the occasion, I believe, when the work of hers, which is being played tonight, by Daniel Harding and the Swedish Radio Symphony at Berwaldhallen, was first premiered because Simon Rattle commissioned that work. Anyway, let me tell you about the concert. It's at Berwaldhallen, which is where the Stockholm the Swedish Radio Symphony plays. They'll play Mendelssohn's Violin Concerto in E minor with Joshua Bell, a very fine violinist, the soloist there. Then they'll do Gustav Mahler's Das Lied von der Erde with Andrew Staples, the tenor, and Fleur Baron, the mezzo. This was Mahler's unnumbered symphony. It would have been the 9th, and everybody was concerned at the time about the curse of the 9th symphony, so he didn't want to call it a 9th. And then he went on to write a 9th symphony, which was very sad. But anyway, I want to talk to you about Betsy Jolas, okay? And Ces belles années, which literally it means these beautiful years, but beautiful in that context in French meant wonderful years. It was co-commissioned by the London Symphony Orchestra, the Festival of Aix-en-Provence in the south of France, and the Cleveland Orchestra. And it had its premiere a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, actually, in 2023 at the Barbican. And it opened the symphony evening at the Opera Festival down there in Aix-en-Provence. Holds every year on Bastille Day, and Fleur Baron will be the mezzo singing with it. This was a piece which what happened was Betsy Jolas at the time, she's like 99 now, she's 97 years old. She thinks she's done composing, and she gets a call from Simon Rattle because the LSO wants to commission her to do another piece. So she didn't feel she could refuse. Who is Betsy Jolas? Well, she was born in 1926. Like I said, almost 100 years old. And moved to the United States with her parents as a teenager, 14 years old. Well, the war broke out in France and the Germans won. So then she went to Bennington College there, where she studied with various people and also became acquainted, it's noted in her bio, with 16th century polyphony. And composers like Palestrina, whom I sang a lot as a choir boy myself as a boy. Anyway, the war ends and in 1946, she goes back to Paris. She's studying at the National Conservatory with people like Darius Milhaud and Olivier Messiaen. Well, 20 years later, she ends up, replacing Olivier Messiaen at the same conservatory. But she's also, she taught all over the place: Tanglewood, Yale, Harvard, Mills College. I went to school. I had a girlfriend at Mills College when I was at Stanford. All these little ways, 6 degrees of separation. Anyway, so she comes up with this absolutely lovely piece called Ces Belles Années, which is for soprano and orchestra, which is an unusual combination for her. Anyway, I want to read to you the text. The text, she didn't pick some formal text. She just put one together on her own. And it's just a lovely little text. And I'll read it to you in the French and then give you the translation in English. Oh, la joie de ces beaux jours, célébrons sans cesse ces beaux jours, toutes ces belles années. Venez, venez, amenez vos amis, tous vos amis. And that means, oh, the joy of those wonderful years. Let us celebrate those wonderful years endlessly. Those wonderful years, all those wonderful years. Come and bring all your friends, all of them. Et toi, le tout petit, dans ton berceau, tu viendras aussi. Et vous, là-bas qui passez, venez aussi. That means, and you, little baby in your cradle, you will come too. And hey, you over there that's passing by, you come too. Chantons tous ensemble. Chantons la joie. La joie. That means let us all sing together, singing the joy. And then the laughter at the end. No, that's in the text. I didn't make that up. That's Betsy Jolas and what she wanted to express. It's a lovely piece. It's only 12 minutes long, but I wouldn't miss it if I were you. I wouldn't miss it for the world. And it'll be played live tonight at 7 o'clock in the evening, free of charge, by the Swedish Radio Symphony. I think that's on their own website. We give you the link to it. And that's 1 o'clock in the afternoon on the East Coast and 10 in the morning on the West Coast. That's one reason why we're doing this live stream a little early rather than a couple hours from now, which is when we usually go. I want to make sure we have time to get the word out about Betsy Jolas and this lovely piece about those wonderful years. This is someone who's lived through it all, and she's telling you it was great. So check it out. I highly recommend it and urge you not to miss it. So there. You've never heard me give a recommendation like that before. Anyway, so then we move on to, there are several other things that I want to recommend to you, but I'll be much more brief talking about them. The next up is when we have the flamenco from Madrid. March Vivo will be continuing its session series of flamenco dancers with the Leonor Leal dance company performing her piece, which is called Moon That Breaks. It's all flamenco, but the Moon That Breaks is inspired by some verses by Agustin Lara, and they go like this: Luna que se quiebra sobre la tiniebla de mi soledad. The moon that breaks over the darkness of my solitude. And it's a recreation of an evening in a moonlit Andalusian courtyard. Come on, it's great. I'm sorry, I'm having a little trouble with my chair here. Anyway, so this is, there will be dance and singing and guitar and percussion. So, and all of the people appearing in it with her are people that she has appeared with before. So check that out. If you want a little more detail about that, you can check out the roundup I did of chamber music earlier this week, where I had more time to talk about it. So that will be on Saturday at noon, European time. Next up after that will be later in the day on Saturday evening European time. Christian Macellaro conducts the Köln Philharmonic and the combined Cologne and Berlin radio choirs in Elgar's oratorio, Dream of Gerontius. That's 8 o'clock in the evening, Cologne, German, European time. That's 2 in the afternoon on your Saturday afternoon on the East Coast, and 11 in the morning, your Saturday morning on the West Coast. Elgar is the one. If you don't know Elgar, I don't assume everybody who watches these clips knows a lot. He's the one who wrote that Pomp and Circumstance March. I'm sorry, I have the Mussorgsky in my head, and I can't remember the Pomp and Circumstance now. Anyway, this is the story of the journey of a soul into the kingdom of heaven from the moment of death, and then the guardian angel comes along, and then it ends with experiencing the glory of God. So, you don't want to miss that. I can show you a picture. Yeah, this picture shows you, that's Christian Macellaro. I just want to give you a tag about each of the singers, because it's a very nice international grouping. The mezzo-soprano is Jamie Barton. She's an American. She did a performance at the last night of the proms in 2020, on the basis of which BBC Music Magazine named her Music Personality of the Year. And The Guardian compared her to, said you can't compare her to other singers. Now you have to compare her to 20th century greats like Kristen Flagstad. So high praise. Then the tenor is Alan Clayton, and he's a BBC Proms regular. And among his appearances there in 2022, he performed in The Dream of Gerontius. On his webpage, if you look him up, he has a whole page of the press raving about his performance in that show. So he'll do a great job. And then Derek Welton, the bass baritone, he's Australian. So you got an American, a Brit, an Australian, and he has a big Bach and Handel kind of repertoire, but he's singing all over Europe this way. Then you have the Berlin Radio Choir, the Köln Radio Choir, and you got Christian Macellaro conducting, and he's the incoming chief guy at the Cincinnati Symphony. He's the outgoing guy at the Köln Symphony that he's conducting today. Music director of the Orchestra Nationale de France, also the artistic director and principal conductor at Interlaken, their youth orchestra. So this will be a fine performance of Elgar. By all sort of Anglo-British, American, Australian kind of singers, so they ought to know. Now, the next thing that we have up for you that I want to tell you about, what I'm trying to do is in each sort of category of music or performances, pick out, what would be really exceptionally good in that category. There's a lot of great stuff going on this weekend. Follow the other info we give you. But the next one here is, this is Saturday evening in Chicago, so it'll be a few hours later. Okay, Saturday evening in Chicago, May 24th, Constellation Chicago live streams a tribute to composer Mars Williams in a performance of the musical portion of his amazing work, The Devil's Whistle. This is by a full-scale ensemble of Chicago artists. Mars Williams would have been 70 years old this year, and he didn't make it. That's at 8:30 p.m. Chicago time, 9:30 on the East Coast, 6:30 in the evening on the West Coast, 3:30 in the middle of the night in Europe, but 11:30 Sunday morning down in Australia if you're ready for this kind of a wild celebration. This will be cornet, trombone, reeds, 2 saxophones, violin, guitar, 2 cellos, bass, and 2 drummers performing a piece that was first staged in New Orleans with dozens of musicians and dancers. And I believe that photo there is from that performance in New Orleans. It was way over the top. So you just get the music for it. But, if you like this kind of new compositions and all of that, well, this is going to be like a wild, full scale, such deal, can I say? So that's Saturday. We got 3 top live streams for you on Saturday throughout the day. Then on Sunday, there's just 2 more things I want to tell you about briefly. I was not intending to go for more than 10 minutes today. And the first of them gets us back to the piece that we started out with. Gets us back to this. That's Baptiste Florian Mahler Ouvrard there, lolling around on the organ console at St. Eustache Church, because he's one of the resident organists there at St. Eustache Church, and so you know he has leave to loll around there, and the pipeworks is just above him. So, and that's the magnificent Van den Heuvel organ, 101 stops, 7,952 pipes, 5 manual organ, 2 consoles, one where he is, and there's another one hidden back up there in the loft, up just beneath all of that pipework. And if you go to our YouTube page, you will find an interview, a 35-minute live stream interview I did with Baptiste Florian's colleague at the St. Eustache Church, Thomas Hospital, where he tells us all about all the details of that organ and the architecture of the church. It's, as the French would say, une leçon, a lesson, all about organs. Anyway, Baptiste Florian, why am I playing this music? Because Baptiste Florian Mahler Ouvrard will be playing an organ transcription of this lovely piece by Mussorgsky, Pictures at an Exhibition. And you can tell by the photo here, the man's a showman. So, and it's a great show piece, and that's that organ. If any organ can really play it, the Van den Heuvel organ at St. Eustache Church can do it. It has great possibilities and capacities. So, and then we have just one more live stream that I want to recommend to you, but I can't tell you a lot about it because there is no time to squeeze in operas with everything else. And this is an opera, full-length opera performance this weekend, free of charge. The Vienna State Opera offers a rare treat, a live stream at no cost of its production of Wagner's Tannhäuser. That will be at 6 o'clock Sunday evening in Europe. That's noon on the East Coast, 9 in the morning on the West Coast, 2 o'clock in the morning, late Sunday night, down under in Australia. If you're an opera lover, it could be worth staying up for if you don't have to get to work too early the next day. The conductor is Philippe Jordan. The production is run by Lydia Steyer. It features performances by Günther Greusbuck, Ludovic Tézier, Clay Hilly, Malin Bystrom, Daniel Jentz, Luca Schmidt, Ilya Staple, and Ekaterina Gubanova. I will do my best to come up with a separate live stream discussion of that to give you all the background, tell you a little bit more about the opera, tell you a little bit more about each of the top singers in the ensemble, and if I can find any reviews of it, which I probably should be able to do, give you a little bit of feedback on what the local press has had to say about this production of Tannhäuser. If you're a Wagner lover, I wouldn't want to miss seeing the Vienna State Opera do him right. That's what we have for you for this weekend, folks. I hope that one, some, more, any of these inspires you, uplifts you, or just shows you a heck of a good time. I mean, I think The Devil's Whistle could be an awful lot of fun. But I think, the most charming and lovely piece in all of that is Ces Belles Années by Betsy Jolas, which is going to be on live in 2 hours and 10 minutes time from now. And I say it's not to be missed, and you want to hear it live with Daniel Harding really pouring his heart, mind, and soul into it as the opening piece in the last concert he's going to conduct as the AD and chief conductor of the Swedish Radio Symphony Orchestra after a distinguished time passed there. If you're watching this on Facebook, please like the video. If you're watching this on any of our other platforms, please don't just like the video, like us. That is, follow and or subscribe to Access Arts Live on YouTube, X, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, or LinkedIn, and we will continue to provide you with live links to live performances, more than 1,000 in the last year alone. Ciao for now. Have a great weekend, and may the muse be with you through it all.